Hey guys, Dr. Snellgrove here. Just going to do a review of our syllabus and policies in a surely very exciting video. Hopefully the video quality is good on your end. I just got this camera set up on a new computer. I was telling another online class, I feel kind of like I'm giving somebody secret information in a late 90s movie, on a fuzzy video thing where they still call it the net. Anyways, by the time you're seeing this video, our syllabus is up on Canvas. I encourage you to pull the syllabus up and read along as I review it, or just review the syllabus afterwards. And please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. All right, so up at the top, you can see it's Professor Dr. Chris Snellgrove. That's me. They always make me write it out like that with the two titles, which feels a little weird. I always tell people if you're a Venture Brothers fan, I kind of feel like, introducing myself as Dr. and Mrs. the girlfriend. It's got my email address here. That's important. We encourage you to check your email once a day. If I have any important update, I'll email the class. I promise I won't be blowing up your inbox for no reason. All right, I've got more importantly, arguably than my email, I've got my actual personal cell phone number there. So I want to encourage you, if you have questions, concerns, especially if you need a timely response, please feel free to text me. Now, I am an elder millennial. That means I don't like to get random phone calls. So when I say text me, I do mean that. If you call out of nowhere, I'm probably not going to answer. We can always set up later. Once I know it's you, we can set up phone calls, video calls, FaceTimes, whatever you might need. But please text first. I've got my office hours here, and some of y'all might be like, I'm an online student. Why do I need office hours? Well, you might not, because I'm happy to set up meetings with you, phone calls, whatever, outside of these office hours. And that's in addition to just answering your quick text and emails whenever. But I just want to let you know that I'm here on the Niceville campus, and the whole point of the office hours is that you can drop in at any point. So especially if you're taking a blend of online and offline classes, you happen to be here, feel free to poke your head in. All right. So let's see. Stuff you need to know. Course description. Basically, we're doing a bit of reading and writing a lot of essays, and we're getting into some grammar stuff too. It's kind of a hodgepodge. Kind of the spirit of this class is to help prepare you eventually to take 1101. So, we're kind of a one-stop shop on developing your essay writing skills primarily, but also your reading skills and grammatical skills, research, the whole thing. So we've got that written in the course level student learning outcomes. We want you to, learn well the conventions of standard American English. We want you to learn concepts of purpose, audience, and rhetorical situation, both in what you are writing and what you are reading. Principles of logic and critical thinking, both in what you are reading and what you're writing, and then effectively integrates and appropriately documents select ideas, themes, and concepts from a variety of print and or electronic sources. So that's code for doing research and citations. All right. What is our textbook? Hopefully you can see this on our potato quality webcam. It's Wordsmith, A Guide to College Writing, 7th edition. I don't know if they like me saying this way. I don't really care how you get the book. We have it here in the college bookstore, which you can order online, I think, from there. But you can order this online from Amazon or a number of other places. There are digital versions of the book available, through the publisher. Just however you get the book, please get the book. All right, so you've probably figured out by now, I'm using kind of a boilerplate syllabus that the administration provides, and it has a lot of stuff on it that doesn't quite apply to you as online students. So here's an example. There's a section on class attendance, and it's like, well, I'm not actually going to class. You're absolutely right. You don't have to go to a physical location, and I'm certainly not going to be doing anything weird like making sure you log in to the class every day or anything silly like that. But with that being said, we're going to have at least one online discussion thing. I say discussion should be in air quotes. It's mostly confirming that you are here. It says, hey, if you miss out on assignments, if you're ignoring professor communication, if you are, et cetera, et cetera. So multiple things can happen. One, this obviously jeopardizes your grade, especially missing assignments. Like, I've had people before where like, what happens if I miss, that essay, Dr. Snellgrove? It's like, well, the essay that's worth, 20% of your grade. What happens if you miss it? Well, you lose two grade levels. Like, I don't know what else to say. This segues into the attendance confirmation bit. So you aren't students that I'm going to see face to face. I can't just take attendance, as you come in or anything like that. So instead, kind of next best thing here is I mentioned I don't really like doing this on Canvas, so I'm not going to do a whole bunch of these, but I'm going to do probably exactly one online discussion thing where you confirm, basically like it'll have a question that you answer, but that also doubles as, all right, they're here. They have now, I've confirmed one, that they're in Canvas, and two, that they are here. But we are going to get to the end of our drop ad period where I have to basically, tell the college, is there anybody that never showed up? And what does that mean in an online class? Well, you didn't do the discussion thing, if you haven't done any assignments, if you haven't communicated with me in any way, in our eyes, you're not here, And I'm sorry if that sounds brutal, but especially in an 8-week class, it moves super, super fast. So we want to make sure that you're here, that you're logging in regularly, you're getting your assignments in on time, all that fun stuff. All right, there's a whole ass classroom conduct section here. That kind of boils down to, you might be offended by what you read, don't take it out on me. In all seriousness, like, a large part of the point of college is to expose you to new ideas. You're not going to love all the new ideas you're exposed to, but we're also not going to ask you to believe them, to espouse beliefs, contrary to what you believe, etc. So the nature of my assignments, especially when we get to the point where you're choosing, your own assignment, you get to write about what you are interested in, passionate about from your perspective. We're just here to help you hammer that into a formal bit of writing that, God willing, might actually help you convince other people. But we are just in an increasingly weird, like, I don't know, the people that used to tell everyone else, your snowflakes, are now freaking out about, I read something in a book one time and I didn't like it, burn that professor. It's just like, all right, guys, I'm not asking you to like it. You want to write an essay on how bad it is, I'll usually green like that, but just be aware. All right. So grading scheme and procedures. So I'm basically the last professor on earth that still uses percentage breakdowns for the assignments here. So I already alluded to this earlier. Essays are the biggest chunk of what you are doing. So you got essays, 60% of your overall grade. Now I'll go ahead and tell you, as an 8-week class, we're only going to get 3 major essays in. So 20% per essay. We're going to have quizzes that are, I know that doesn't sound fun, but grammar is a big component of what we go over in here. There'll be lots of videos covering the grammatical chapters from the textbook. Why you need to get that thing sooner rather than later. And the quizzes just assess how well you are learning that. The quizzes are collectively 20%. We'll see how many we get in. I try to usually go for like a four quizzes or so that integrates into 5% per quiz. We have daily assignments that are worth a collective 10%. Now the daily assignments, instead of being random, writing assignments or grammar assignments, the daily assignments are like, for every essay, we'll have, hey, complete an outline. So then you get an easy grade and you get feedback on your outline. Hey, complete an intro. So then you get an easy grade and feedback on your intro for that essay. And then, hey, write a couple of body paragraphs for that essay. So you get an easy grade and feedback for that, and so on. So my hope is, one, this helps goose your grade up a little bit, because I mean, you might turn in the worst outline I've ever seen, but you turned in an outline, so I get to be Oprah. You get an A, you get an A. But if it was terrible, I'm also going to have text feedback like, hey, you got to fix X, Y, and Z. So my hope is that you're getting feedback the whole time, and it helps make those essays stronger. And then we have a final exam, really just a reflective essay, and that's 10% of your overall grade. All right. Makeup work is good news and bad news. Bad news is I don't really have makeup work in the high school sense of, hey, I didn't turn this thing in, but I'd like to turn in this completely different thing. I'm like, wait, what? No, that doesn't work. You need to, complete the assignments that are given to you. But let's say you get a bad grade on an essay. So I mentioned how you have 3 major essays. You're going to be able to do rewrites on up to 2 of your 3 major essays. And with rewrites, you get a completely new grade. I don't do anything weird like averaging the old grade and the new grade together. So you might have turned in an F before, and then you turn in an A-level rewrite. You now have an A on that essay. So I always tell people you have nothing to lose but time when it comes to the rewrites. Now, I'm not saying that lightly. I know time is a precious commodity, and you're probably not swimming in a lot of it. But if you can make the time to do the rewrites, that is the single best way to salvage a grade if you're worried about it. I already mentioned this, instructor communication. Email is the official form of communication. I'll send out periodic class emails. We want to encourage you to check your email at least once a day. Now, I put it on here. If you need a very timely response, don't forget you can text my cell phone. And so I mentioned that because sometimes people just, how to put it, I'm kind of like you guys. I'm encouraging you to check your email once a day. There are days I only check my email once. So like you email me, early in the morning, I check it in the evening, and it's like, damn, that man ignored me, especially on the weekend. So if you got a really I need an answer now, just text me. People are like, I don't want to text your cell phone number. It's like, I'm literally giving the number out. I will sign off every one of these videos encouraging you to text me if you have questions. So please do so. Also, hope you don't think I'm a dick. I don't check those Canvas messages, so please don't message me on Canvas. There is an assignment schedule we will circle back to. I'm going to go over some other stuff. Technical skills and specialized technology basically boils down to you need to know how to get into your email and you need to know how to get into Canvas. And I've got an email address and a phone number on there for our tech-oriented people over at Citadel if you're having trouble with any of it. Lecture recordings. If you are face-to-face students, this would be where I'm giving you permission to record lectures if you need to, but you're online students. You're already watching these lectures, on YouTube, but if you ever want to download them, I know you need third-party software like Internet Download Manager to do that, but you're welcome to do it. Emergency college closure doesn't really affect you guys unless you do have face-to-face classes here as well as your online classes, but basically there's a lot of reasons the college might suddenly need to shut down. It's almost always weathered, but a lot of potential reasons the college might need to shut down. If that happens, you'll get emailed. I'm pretty sure if the college has your phone number, they'll try to text you. All this, you might get a robocall, all this stuff. For me, selfishly, the most important takeaway is I don't find out the college is closed until you do. Very, very often while I've been here, students be like, oh, the storm system's moving in. You think they're going to close the college, Dr. Snowgrove? It's like, man, those decisions are made so far above me, it'll make your nose bleed. I find out at the same time y'all do. Academic continuity plan doesn't affect you guys. This harkens back to 2020 when COVID, emerged. And so our face-to-face students went to spring break and they never came back. Ooh. In reality, we just suddenly switched all of our face-to-face classes to online classes, but you're already online students, so that doesn't affect you. Student rights, responsibilities, and academic integrity. We encourage you to read the Northwest Florida State College catalog and student handbook. It's got a lot of valuable info in there. Maybe it's a good toilet reader for you. It does detail stuff like plagiarism, cheating, any other forms of academic dishonesty. Breach of student responsibilities may trigger consequences which range from a failing grade to a formal disciplinary action. And I'm going to mix these two sections together real quick to talk about this. So one, I don't necessarily, maybe I shouldn't say that way, I don't necessarily check everything, but I mean, I do try to run final essays through stuff like Turnitin, which is an online plagiarism detection thing. Basically, if you tried to find something, I try to have assignments that don't really work for this anyway, but if you try to bring in some, I got this on essay123.com, it'll bust you. I turned in my little brother's paper and just changed the name, it'll bust you. We also, I'm supposed to tell you, we prohibit the use of AI tools such as ChatGPT. Now, those of you that really do mess around with AI at this point are probably doing your Pepe laugh, like, how's he gonna know? So I'm gonna level with you. I haven't found any AI detectors I fully trust yet. So what I do instead, for the first time in a long time, if I don't want to say ever, but the first time in a really long time, I've got a very firm rubric for each essay that will outline like, hey, I'm taking X points off for this thing and Y points off for this thing. And it's going to include stuff, primarily that's just good practices for writing, but coincidentally, it will also be taking points off for the kind of errors that the AI generated writing typically makes. So if you've never messed around with it, AI generated writing will come up with fake sources or make up facts. So there's points off if you're like, oh, you're either lying or you relied on AI here. That's bad. It does include grammatical mistakes, which we obviously take points off for grammatical mistakes. The worst offender on AI generated text is that it makes these grandiose statements that don't actually add up to anything. So I'll sometimes get a paragraph where it's like, in this essay, we are going to explore the totality of the human condition and undergo an honest analysis of the dreamers of tomorrow and the problems of today. And I'm like, what in God's name? I don't care if an AI wrote that or a human wrote it, it's garbage. It is going to be graded as such. All right, student dispute resolution. Now that I make you mad at me, I'll talk about dispute resolution. In all seriousness, if you have an issue with me, it could be, it's often, I mean, this doesn't, no one's actually done the dispute resolution process, so I don't really know, but theoretically, this would be like, I gave you a grade and you feel like I was coming for you. Or maybe you have an objection to something in a video or our one-on-one communication. If we have a phone call or individual Zoom call or something, what are you supposed to do? All right, one, if you feel comfortable doing so, we obviously encourage you to come to me first. I've changed grades plenty of times after talking to students. It's not like it never happens. But let's say that you either talk to me and we don't come to a resolution that you're satisfied with, or you don't feel comfortable coming to me in the first place for whatever reason. I'm pointing like you can see it, but on the syllabus, we've got a hyperlink there. It's a formal process. Literally, there's a form. And so you can fill that out, and it theoretically lets you kind of go up the totem pole where you would, speak with my department head, my dean, my VP, the president, even. I don't know, maybe it goes that high. Typically, we can just come to some sort of resolution in a one-on-one conversation. All right, campus resources. We encourage you to complete, if you have a documented disability for which accommodations may be appropriate, I adore alliteration, then we encourage you to use the provided email address or phone number to contact accommodation resources, and they can set you up. I will let you know, some students have been surprised by this, that as online students, a lot of the stuff that you might get accommodations for is already kind of built in the course for everyone. Right? Like if you need extra time on assignment, just ask me, like we're an 8-week class, I'll give you assignments up to the end of the class. You just got to have all your stuff in by the end of the class. If you need a quiet testing environment, we don't do tests and you're just right there at home. If you need, if you were face-to-face student, you might have somebody needs to take notes for them, but all of this will be on videos that you can review at your leisure. We've even, I don't know how great a job it does, but you'll notice that we've got closed captions built in for all of this as well. So I'm hoping that collectively this will help you out, but still, please, please, please contact accommodation resources if you need anything and you have a qualifying disability. Student counseling services. So we have a partnership with Bridgeway Center Incorporated. Basically, they provide mental health resources and counseling services to students. So you can get an initial assessment up to 5 therapeutic sessions at no cost. It can be really good. We know it's a stressful world, and I'm not naive. I know I'm going to add to your stress as a guy giving you a bunch of assignments. So I want you to know that you have that available to you. They have a phone number. It's open 24 hours a day. Children in the classroom is another thing that mostly applies to face-to-face students. Like, hey, don't bring your kids in classrooms. But you guys, you're online students. And in case you're worried about this, like if we do have a individualized video call, you don't got to worry if you got kids or pets or whatever running around the background. I've read the occasional horror story. It was like, this professor was offended that, what was going on in the background during a video call. It's like, hey, professor, that's their house, man. What is your problem? So I don't stand too much on, you're probably figuring this out. I'm a pretty casual guy. I don't stand too much on ceremony. We have a link to the handbook. And then I'm circling back up to, this should be pretty, I wanted you to have a really day by day. I know we're online students, but we want you to stay on schedule. I keep saying this, I don't want to be a jinx. The 8 weeks will go, you will blink and the 8 weeks has gone by. So I wanted to have a firm schedule here. Like if you were 16-week students, I might just be like, week 1, week 2, week 3, that kind of thing here. But with you guys, I want to know, here's what you are doing by the day. And the first thing, I'm uploading this on August 21st. The first thing on here is to read this article called Save Big with the Flashback Budget. Now, it's in our book. So if you already have the book, you can just go ahead and read it. But I'm a realistic guy. Some of you are just finding out about the book for the first time now, and you're going to put in an order. It might take your book a few days to arrive or something like that. So I do have a link, a hyperlink here, where you can read the article. Sorry, the hyperlink looks weird. Basically, where it was originally published, they took it down. So I've got a web archive copy there where you can read it. And all of our essay assignments are tied to major readings. And so this is the first one. So we just want to make sure that you read this, understand this, and you are front loaded for our first essay assignment, which I'll be uploading video probably within a couple days. about that and kicking things off. But I think that's everything for me. And I hope this doesn't annoy you because I'm going to sign off pretty much every video like this. But if you have any questions, concerns, it could be about syllabus, assignments, book, any of it, all of it, feel free to email me. Feel free to text me at 863-835-2399. But you guys have a good one, and I'm looking forward to learning more about you and reading your writing. Bye.